Hello there, and welcome to a brand new What If series. What if Qui Gon Jinn redeemed Darth Vader on Mustafar during the events of Revenge of the Sith? This is a brand new What If series that takes place in another timeline, and it will be done in a similar format to my What If Galen Marek killed Palpatine with Vader and they ruled the galaxy together. That story is still continuing. That story has not concluded. There's still so much more to tell in that universe, but I don't know, I was thinking about this idea late at night. Because a lot of people have done What If Anakin Was Redeemed on Mustafar, but none of them have taken the story in the way that I'm going to take it. And we're going to have Qui-Gon Jinn, obviously, redeem Darth Vader on Mustafar. And the events following Revenge of the Sith and how it goes into the other timeline is going to be much, much different. And I'm really excited to share this story with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. We open during the scene of the Battle of the Heroes during Revenge of the Sith, as Lord Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi clash in an epic display of battle that represents both the light and the dark sides of the Force clashing in one of the most incredible fights that has ever transpired in the galaxy. That was when they both hear whispers that became shouts, reaching out to both of them. "Anakin, stop this!" Vader looked around to see who was speaking to him, before suddenly, the Force ghost of Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn appeared before both Vader and Kenobi. "Anakin, come to your senses." Vader looked at the old master in shock, but his rage still consumed his words. "Stay out of this, Master Qui-Gon." "Anakin, I have used all my strength just to appear here, and if you don't listen, you will never hear these words again, for I will be unable to communicate with you again," Qui-Gon instructed. Vader hardly paid attention to the long-deceased master as he focused on Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was in pure shock at seeing his long-past master standing in front of him. "Listen to me, Anakin. Palpatine has twisted your emotions to serve him. Look at what you've done to your own wife." Vader looked down to see Padme still lying on the ground, unconscious from far away, as he began to question his morals. "She was turned against me. Obi-Wan turned her against me." "No. Come to your senses, Anakin. She came of her own choice, as did Obi-Wan. They both want to help you deep down, not Sidious." Vader hesitates as Qui-Gon spoke. "Remember your earliest teachings, Anakin. The very nature of the dark side is destruction, pain, and death, not saving lives. Palpatine took advantage of your conflicted state and corrupted your views." Vader began to see past his blind hatred, his mind now opening to Qui-Gon's words, as the weight of his realization of how much he had done began to level in. "When you attacked the temple on Coruscant, I tried to reach out to you, but in doing so I felt something. Your hesitation, your conflict." Vader nodded, admitting his truth to Qui-Gon. "I didn't enjoy doing it. I didn't want to kill the younglings, but I did it to try and save Padme. Death and annihilation do not bring salvation, Anakin. Only peace and light can do that," Qui-Gon preached. "Remember, you are the chosen one, the one to bring balance. Your mother wouldn't have wanted this for you. Your wife would not have wanted this for you." Finally, Vader broke from his dark trance as tears streamed down his cheeks. "I never wanted any of this." "I know you don't," Qui-Gon reasoned. "You were just confused and manipulated." Anakin Skywalker looked around. "What should I do, Master?" "I think you should begin making amends with your master and protect your wife and incoming children," Qui-Gon said, as he acknowledged Obi-Wan, who was cautiously standing behind his old master. "Remember, Anakin, trust your instincts, trust the light, trust the will of the Force." That was when Qui-Gon's spirit faded, passing on into the Force as Anakin stared at Obi-Wan, with tears still in his eyes. "Master, Obi-Wan hesitated as he slowly approached the weeping Anakin. "I'm sorry." Obi-Wan placed his lightsaber hilt back on his belt and comforted Anakin, telling him that he had failed him as a master and a brother, as the two sobbed together, before pulling themselves together and going back to help Padme onto her ship. A short while later, Padme awakes to see both Anakin and Obi-Wan, but this time, Anakin looks normal, like he isn't corrupted, as Obi-Wan explains that he was able to snap Anakin out of his dark trance, and that her husband had been redeemed. Obi-Wan leaves to communicate with Yoda and Bail Organa, as Anakin and Padme share a moment of grief and forgiveness. We cut to Obi-Wan as he gets Bail and Yoda on a holo transmitter as he explains the situation. "I can't explain it, but somehow Master Qui Gon returned and spoke to Anakin. He got him to come back to his senses, to come back to the light." Bail looks shocked as Yoda rubs his chin. "Sure that it is not a trap, are you?" "Yes, Master. I felt his rage cool, and he had every moment to destroy me, but he didn't. He didn't join Palpatine out of sadism or a desire for killing. He was tricked by him into doing the Emperor's will, with the promise of saving Padme." Bail and Yoda looked at each other as Obi-Wan continued. "Move quickly you must. On his way to Mustafar, the Emperor is." Obi-Wan nodded. "We will meet on Polis Massa." The hologram ended as Obi-Wan went back to see Anakin and Padme. "We need to move. The Emperor is on his way." Padme and Anakin both looked concerned before Anakin spoke up, deciding on his next course of action. "If I go with you, Palpatine will hunt you forever. I must stay behind." "What? Annie?" "He still thinks I'm his apprentice. If I can keep him under that mindset, I can delay his hunt. I can protect you and give you information about the Empire." "A double agent," Obi-Wan realized. Anakin nodded. "Trust me, Master. Please." Obi-Wan hesitated as he looked at Padme before she nodded too, accepting Anakin's decision. "Take care of our children," he tells Padme as he approaches Obi-Wan. "If I'm going to face Palpatine, I'm going to need him to believe you're dead." He reaches out his hand as he motions to Obi-Wan's lightsaber. Obi-Wan hesitates before giving up the weapon as Anakin nods. "I know you don't fully trust me, and you have every right to believe so. But if we are to save what's left of the Jedi, I need him to be distracted." Obi-Wan nods as Anakin leaves the ship and says goodbye to Padme, before Obi-Wan takes the ship and Anakin leaves with Obi-Wan's lightsaber and grabbing his robe off the ground. Anakin sees R2-D2 and tells him to go with Obi-Wan and Padme before reuniting the droid and promising that he will make his way to Polis Massa, before returning to his own ship and activating a holoprojector revealing the image of Darth Sidious. "Master Kenobi has been destroyed, my master," Anakin declares as he holds out Obi-Wan's lightsaber as a trophy. "Very good, my young apprentice. I was becoming worried that you were in danger," Palpatine responds. "Return to me on Coruscant. We will begin to bring about our new empire." Anakin nods as the hologram ends, and he flies off into space, deciding to make a stop at Polis Massa first to check on Padme as she gives birth. We cut to Polis Massa as Anakin goes into the medical room and stays with Padme the entire time, as Yoda and Bail Organa arrive. Yoda is initially ready to fight Anakin, but Obi-Wan stops him. "It's okay, Master. He's back." Yoda is hesitant, but knows that this battle is futile. Padme gives birth to Luke and Leia with Anakin by her side, before he steps out of the room to confront Obi-Wan and Yoda. "I must be going soon. Palpatine will get suspicious if I don't return to Coruscant." "Returning to your Dark Master so soon, are you?" Anakin looked at Yoda with sorrow and guilt. "I made many mistakes, in only a few days, and many people still suffer for it. But if I can stop this before it gets worse, then I think we should take that chance." Yoda looked at Obi-Wan, who nods in approval. "Right about this. You better be." Anakin nods as Yoda stepped into the other room, as Anakin returned to the side of his wife. looking at his two new children for a long time before looking at Padme. I need to go. Padme wanted to argue, but knew she didn't have much choice. Anakin said his goodbyes and returned to his ship, as he planned to return to Coruscant. We cut to Obi-Wan, Yoda, Bail Organa, and Padme as they discuss the future of the twins. We need to bring the children to a place where the Sith will not sense their presence. Split up, they should be, Yoda declared. Padme wanted to protest against this, but Yoda countered. If know about you having children, Senator, aware of Skywalker's children, Palpatine will be. Come after them, he will. Padme hesitated before Bail Organa spoke up. I can take care of the girl. My wife and I always dreamed of adopting a baby girl. He looked at Padme and told her that Leia would be loved with them, and that she could visit and spend time with Leia as much as she wanted, which Padme hesitantly agreed to. Obi-Wan then declared that he would watch over the boy on Tatooine and bring him home to his family to make sure he was safe. Padme was hesitant, but she trusted Obi-Wan enough to watch her son, until the time was right and they could strike back. We cut to Anakin as he returned to Coruscant and entered Palpatine's office, seeing his master with an officer he knew very well. Palpatine looked to see his apprentice. Welcome back, my apprentice. I assume you know Moff Tarkin? I do, master, Anakin responded as he approached the desk and dropped Obi-Wan's lightsaber onto it as Palpatine cackled with joy. At last the Jedi are no more. Once our probes locate Master Yoda, there will be none left to threaten us. Anakin nodded. I will begin searching for Master Yoda immediately. Patience, my young apprentice. For now we must focus on the efforts of building up our new empire. Anakin nodded. As you wish, my master. Palpatine looked at Tarkin, who looked confused. My lord, I thought you stated that all Jedi were to be executed on sight. Palpatine nodded as he looked at his apprentice. Skywalker betrayed the Jedi to protect me from them. He is our ally, and my second in command besides you. Tarkin nodded as he left the chamber, leaving both master and apprentice to discuss matters. Now what are we going to do about Padme? Patience, my young apprentice. In time we will discover the secrets. No, you promised me the power to save Padme, and you haven't held up your end, Anakin argued. Palpatine grew frustrated with his apprentice's obsession. In time we will discover the secrets together, Lord Vader, but you must be patient. Besides, now that you've cleared the temple, we will have nearly full access to the Jedi's archives. Anakin calmed down as he nodded. Then I would request to begin searching them at once. Palpatine nodded as he got up from his seat. Of course, my apprentice. Let's go check out my new palace. Palpatine left the room, cackling to himself, as for a moment, Anakin let go of his performance and smirked to himself before following Sidious back to the Jedi Temple, pleased to know that his master hadn't suspected a thing. And that is where this part ends.